Hi class, I wanted to touch base with you and just kind of give you an overview of the paper that you guys are writing. Sometimes I feel like when we're writing these different pieces that it's kind of hard to get a grasp of where everything should go and what you're writing for what part, okay? And I'm gonna use the analogy of the who, what, when, but more on that, like what we were just reading about and discussing about the how, what, and why, because that's kind of a lot of what will be going into this paper. So you guys have already written your introduction, but I do want to make sure we're all on the same page, and I may not have caught this as I was reading and grading those introductions, that I want to make sure you guys really are honing in on a soft skill. So this is what you're going to talk about: the company and the soft skill. So different than what you guys worked on last semester, which was just kind of a change in an organization, I believe. This is really honing in on a soft skill. So it's that employee motivation and engagement, retention of employees, or some of those more of those ideas, kind of those HR type ideas. So some of you might need to tweak your papers a little bit, thinking through what that would look like. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to me, or I'll be kind of touching base with you if I feel like we're not quite aimed at a soft skill. That's really what we're working on this time. All right, and then the next part is your executive summary. We aren't there yet. We're not writing that. We're kind of skipping it and going back. This is where a lot of your research is going to be in. So all of those articles that you were asked to find the last time, that's where you're going to put that in. This is kind of the why. This is why is this important? And I know a lot of you, I've also said, I'm sorry, don't use I believe or I think, because this part, it's not about what you, let's see, make sure this is in the shot. It's not about what you think, it's about what you know. So I want you in this executive summary to talk about what you know, and what you know is not through your own experiences in this situation. It's an academic paper. It's what other people have already researched. So what have you found out from research, and why this is important? Why is it important that your employees are motivated? Or why is a retention rate important? And that's where you're going to put in all of that data. I hope that makes sense. This proposal that you're working on, or that you outlined, it will be able to stay in an outline format or a paragraph format in the paper. I know the sample paper did an outline, so if you want to keep it with an outline, we'll kind of help make that cleaned up a little bit. But this is basically your what. What are you proposing that is basically it is that change. So are you proposing that the company hires somebody? Are you proposing that they do certain activities or create a department? Those are kind of some of those ideas. So what are you proposing to solve this problem that is really important, to point back to that why. The implementation is the how. All right. So there will be a little bit of overlap on this, but so the proposal is a little bit of how you're going to do that. You're going to start a department, things like that. But the implementation, this is going to be more paragraph form, and it's going to be really how is the company going to implement this? How are they going to do what you think is important? And then the conclusion, of course, is your summary. You'll just summarize kind of your proposal. I hope that makes sense. And another thing that I've maybe mentioned in my comments to a few of you, but I really want you to have this idea on how you're writing this paper, is to think about if you went into your boss's office and said, hey, our students, I work with students, our employees are really not motivated. They're really disengaged, and I think, it's a real big problem around here. And then you walked out. Your boss would not receive that very well, right? Your boss would not be very like, well, thanks. But and your boss may even say like, well, what do you think I should do about it? So this paper is kind of like as if you're preparing to take this to your boss or the CEO or whoever, the leadership team or your HR department, and say, hey, we have a real problem. This is why I think it's a problem. And again, you're not going to write, this is why I think it's a problem. You're going to say, this is why it's a problem because research shows that it's very costly if you have to rehire, whatever that is, that research that you found. And this is the proposal. This is what should be done. And this is how it should be handled. This is a way that our company can actually implement this, and then summarizing it, right? So you're not going to your boss and saying, hey, there's a problem, fix it. You're saying, this is a problem, this is why it's a problem. I think we can, this is a proposal and how we can actually implement this. So hope that makes sense. Please, again, reach out to me if you have any questions on the overall paper and your specific project. I honestly, it's sometimes hard when I'm reading your paper. Some of you, I remember what you're writing about. Others, it's sometimes I'm like, well, which one is this? What company and what soft skill? So as I'm grading, I sometimes get this narrow view, but I want us to work through this bigger picture. And so if you want to talk through that, I'm also available here in our Mission Valley campus. I work here full time. So I'm available during the day, sometimes in the evenings, to meet with you. So if you want to stop by and chat about this, I'm happy to do that. So let me know. And but it's kind of a fun project, and I hope that it's starting to make sense. All right, take care of it, guys. Bye.